Hello, everyone, and welcome to Too Fast, Too Curious, a movie review podcast of the Fast and Furious franchise. My name is John.
I'm Randi.
And this is our first podcast ever. So if this doesn't go well, that's why. A little backstory as to why we decided to do this in the first place. A year or two ago, Randi was talking about the Kung Fu Panda movie series, and I decided to make as much fun of it as I could.
Even though he hasn't seen it.
Even though I haven't seen it.
Still, I've been lazy with it.
Well, so that's the backstory, is that we made a deal that if I watched all three Kung Fu Panda movies...
No. It was if I watched all the Fast and Furious movies, you would watch all the Kung Fu Panda movies.
Basically what I was going to say, but
No,
yes.
You said it reversed.
Okay. Basically what I was going to say, though. So, if you watched all the Fast and Furious movies, I would watch all the Kung Fu Panda movies, and you agreed to it, not knowing at the time, and this was my plan, that there were 8. Soon to be 9.
Part of me feels like I knew there was a lot, but I just went with it.
Well, I think... Had you seen any of them at that point?
No.
Because I think your brothers had watched them.
I'd seen glimpses throughout the years, but I didn't know that they were even Fast and Furious.
Your sister talks about watching Tokyo Drift too many times to the point where she can't watch it anymore.
Like, it sucks, because that's the funniest one.
It is, yeah. I don't think intentionally so.
Oh, no, but it still is the funniest.
But I digress. Basically, the point is, we made this deal, and I thought it was going to be hilarious because I didn't expect her to like the movies at all.
Neither did I.
And as it turns out, she did. She actually really enjoyed them, and it was no effort at all to get her to watch all 8. And while we were watching them, she had a lot of questions about a lot of weird things.
And car things in general.
Yeah, car things in general especially. And just to give you a little background, I am a lifelong automotive obsessive. I have always talked about, looked at, dreamed about cars to the point where I got a degree in automotive technology and was a mechanic for a while. And so I came into these movie series as a kid very excited. Thought it was great that they were making this movie series all about fast cars. And as we've seen throughout the franchise, it's kind of gotten less about the racing and more about the like superhero antics.
The explosions.
The explosions, the family, the
quarter mile at a time.
The quarter mile at a time, the jumping out of airplanes.
And John Cena.
And now John Cena. But
we'll get to him.
From a completely different background, I think it's fair to say that you have never cared about cars even a little bit.
No, they transport me, and I'm afraid to drive them.
Yeah, so it was very interesting seeing this franchise that I'd watched multiple times from a new perspective of someone who didn't care about cars. And it was really more about like the action and the story, I guess.
The characters too. I quite enjoy the characters most of the time.
Because to be perfectly honest, the first, I don't know, 10 times I watched the first movie, and it has, I think that's a fair amount. It's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay too much attention to the storyline. I
Really?
didn't really, yeah, really, I didn't really care. It was the cars that drew me in. And as we know, like I now have a very like deep fondness for that first movie. And we'll talk about the other movies later. But at the time when I was younger, it was just like, look at those cars, they're doing crazy things. I love it. It's fantastic. So it really wasn't until I was older and maybe a little bit more mature that I was like, oh, hey, there's actually a story going on here. Maybe I should pay more attention. And then seeing that again from someone who'd never seen the series or thought about cars other than, as you said, transportation.
And scary.
and scary. It was kind of fun. And you and I have always talked about podcasting and if we had a podcast, what would it look like? And I think this idea kind of came to both of us at the same time, and we said, "Hey, what if we did a podcast about the Fast and Furious franchise?" Because there is a lot to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I love the movies, but they are simultaneously some of the like most fun and at times dumbest things I've ever seen.
What he said.
And there are times where I'm watching it and I have to tell myself just enjoy it for what it is, because when you are very like car obsessed, you see things and you're like, "Oh, this is terrible."
And then I'm over here just like, yeah!
Completely oblivious to the fact that like some of this to some people may even be considered like sacrilege. Like this is
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Okay, so there's a lot of like especially in the first movie because it had such a small budget.
Clearly.
Just like these gaffes that people hold on to. Danger to Manifold is one of them. In the race war scene where Jesse is racing his Jetta.
Oh, that part was so sad.
Well, yeah, he should have listened to Vince. I think it was Vince, or was it the other guy?
Save it for the next one.
He shouldn't have done it. You don't race against Johnny Tran, not in a Volkswagen. At least not that one.
No.
And I say that as a Volkswagen owner, just so everyone knows and doesn't flame me on the internet.
Flame?
Is that not a term that people use? I'm pretty sure I've
think
heard
we
people say flame people on the internet.
I mean, yeah, in like 2013.
I'm old. What I was going to say is there's part of that scene where if you watch closely, his front brake doesn't even have a brake caliper on it. It's just a disc spinning there. So there's nothing to actually stop the car. And it's one of those things that people just hold on to and don't let go of because it's fun and funny. So anyway, back to the podcast. We just decided, hey, let's give this a shot. And then we realized we've talked about this for like the last 2 years and not done anything about it. And now that well, it's Wednesday now. On Friday, the 9th movie comes out.
We were inspired by the coming out of Fast 9.
Like most procrastinators, having a deadline actually forced us to do work. So last night I cobbled together a intro and I put together a little thumbnail for the cover art, and
I'm just here.
She prepared her vocal cords. She was doing vocal exercises before this. And we're just gonna give it a shot. So this isn't gonna be a full length episode. This is just sort of introducing ourselves, talking about our background, talking about what the podcast is gonna be.
Yeah.
It's just meant to be a fun, quick preview to say hey and put it out there. I'd like to see the new movie this weekend, and maybe we come out with an episode pretty shortly after that to talk about it, because it seems like there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Ooh, we'll go backwards.
Yeah, or we could start at the beginning, like all those fancy movies.
Oh, and then like we record it, but don't release it.
Something. We'll figure it out. We don't need to.
Yeah, I'll
plan
bring
this
my
all out now.
I'll bring my notebook so I could wait. It's a movie theater.
You can bring. Well, you won't be able to see.
Yeah,
Never mind.
that's what I mean.
And that actually kind of leads into the other part of the podcast, which is as we're reviewing these movies, there's obviously a lot of automotive culture that's imbued in these movies, and I'll be sort of explaining that to Randi as she has questions.
Yeah, I know nothing.
And I think it'll be good for maybe people who like the movies but don't really know a lot about car culture to get the sort of two different perspectives of people from completely different backgrounds talking about something that they both enjoy for totally different reasons.
Yes. And maybe get my friends to watch it if they hear me talk about it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
They refuse.
Well, yeah, but they refuse to listen to or watch basically anything that you tell them to do based on principle.
Well, to be fair, I do the same thing to them, so.
Yep. Yeah. I also do the same thing to my friends. It's basically, I love you, but I'm not going to watch this mainly just to mess with you.
Yeah, no, mainly just because, like, I don't know why I do it. Like,
So anyway, that's that. I will also say, originally the title was going to be The Fast and the Curious, but in the last year, two different groups, I guess, have used that very title in different contexts.
we were robbed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's on us for procrastinating. So, Too Fast, Too Curious still works because there's two of us. And I'm fast and she's curious.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's about it. I think we can kind of wrap that up, make this a short episode, just
Yeah.
say hi, and that's all. I guess we should probably come up with a sign-off.
What? Be like,
Well, I think we talked about like a quote from the movie.
Yeah, but like which quote? There's so
How
many
about
good ones.
how about this one? Until next time, remember to live your life a quarter mile at a time.
Okay, let's try that and say. Say it one more time, and then we'll say it together.
Okay. Until next time, remember, live your life a quarter mile at a time. You didn't say anything that time.
I said you go, and then you say it, and then I'll say it with you the next time.
I'm confused. Until next,
next
time,
time,
remember, live your life a quarter mile at a time.
We gotta work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that. And hey, next time maybe we'll have a highly polished episode. I mean, to
That's
be
funny.
fair, we are literally coming to you from my garage with one microphone on a cheap laptop, and
Why you gotta expose us like that?
well, because then we have an excuse.
I guess.
All right, we'll talk to you. We'll hear you. Bye. Hey everyone, coming here at the end of the episode because as I was editing, I realized we hadn't plugged any of our social media. So I'm on Instagram as Cameras and Combustion. That's Cameras and Combustion with a period between each word because it was easier to read that way. And Randy, you are?
On Instagram, I am Punchin' Skittles with an underscore underneath each word. And on TikTok, I am Punchin' Vittles, also with underscores.
So if you want to check out the other stuff that we do, mine is mostly automotive photography, and yours is...
Art.
Yeah, art. She's an artist. Check it out. She's really good. If you want to reach out to us there and say, hey, that you listened to the podcast and you
please
enjoyed it, don't reach out to her, apparently. But if you have any suggestions or just want to say hi, reach out to me there. And we hope to hear from you soon. Bye.